What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of the Plus Money Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Q. You can follow me on all socials at Bets by Q. And of course, this podcast is brought to you by Black Sheep Betting, where it is a dog's world. An absolute brutal week last week. We go 0-4, down 4 units. We honestly could have been a lot worse. We didn't have an episode on Tuesday because of a fumble, which was my bad, but honestly, it saved us a unit because we would have been 0-5. All right, so what do we do in these situations, right? 2 weeks ago, we go 5-0, and then we follow it up with an 0-4 week. It's not good. Doesn't feel good. Now, did I bring it into the weekend with me? Not really. We had a great weekend in the VIP. You can check out that link in the description as well. Of course, we've got Indian Wells going on. I've been pretty active in the Discord chat. There's a link in the description for the free Discord chat as well. So check that out. We'd love to have you in there. But yeah, man, it's been about having a closing mentality for these last few days, right? I took the weekend to reset. Didn't do too much over the weekend, but we did cash the gift that keeps on giving. It's the Buffalo Sabres on the money line. I mean, I woke up this morning and the Buffalo Sabres were in first place in the division for the first time in over 10 years. It's crazy. Truthfully, that game last night between Tampa Bay and the Sabres, an all-time classic, just full of fights, not a lot of defense. I mean, look, the Sabres went up and then gave up 5 unanswered goals. Then they clawed back into it, ended up winning the match 8-7, and steal the number 1 spot away from Tampa Bay. And we said this a couple of weeks ago that, hey, we're going to back the Sabres on the money line against Tampa because in a few weeks, we're going to get this matchup again. It's going to be super intense. Looks like we got a rivalry brewing. We might meet this team in the playoffs. So it's been a pretty exciting weekend. So that was a kind of the silver lining of the week was the Sabres are in the number 1 spot in the division right now. So I'll take it. You gotta have that closer mentality, all right? Your biggest losses comes after your biggest wins, all right? We're gonna start the week off with a W here. We're gonna get back to it, all right? Shout out my boy C Woods. It's his birthday today. I'll be at the casino tonight celebrating with him. But you gotta lock in and know that in the NCAA tournament that's coming up, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, and we want to make sure that we have the bankroll to jump on those opportunities, okay? I'm going to give out some futures tomorrow on the episode. Tonight, I've got one play in the CAA tournament semifinals. I'm laying a short number here, okay? The number's been dancing around all day. 1.5, 2.5, 1.5, 2.5. We're going to take Monmouth minus 1.5 against Campbell, okay? Semifinals here, very interesting matchup stylistically because on the surface, Campbell looks like the hotter team, okay? Story of the tournament so far, number 9 seed. The Fighting Camels, okay? Just a hilarious team mascot, if you ask me. But they're averaging 90 points per game through the first 2 tournament games here. dropped 96 on Stony Brook, knocked off the number one seed UNCW 85-70, shooting over 60% from the floor in their last game. So the offense is absolutely rolling. You get the point. But we've got a situational angle here that really matters. All right. Campbell is now playing their third game in 3 days. Historically, that is when you start to see the legs go out, especially for a team that's really just been relying on hot shooting to survive. I mean, jump shots start coming up short after 3 days. Rotation slow down defensively. I mean, this is exactly the kind of spot where a disciplined team like Monmouth can take advantage, okay, and take control of the game late. This Monmouth team, they play controlled basketball through and through, 67 possessions per game, comfortable slowing things down. They're going to make it a half-court style kind of a game, all right? Extremely tough team around the rim. Defensively, they rank 12th in opponent 2-point percentage away from the crib, which just basically means teams don't finish efficiently inside the paint against them. All right. On the offensive side, they're not that explosive. They're not necessarily as hot as this Campbell team, but they do take care of the basketball. They limit mistakes, 36 nationally in turnovers per possession. Important because Campbell's defense feeds off of those creative, chaotic plays that come off of, getting steals from their opponents, getting, those turnovers. If Monmouth can protect the ball here, they're going to take away one of Campbell's biggest advantages. I think that they do protect the ball here. I like Monmouth -1.5. I think it's playable to 2.5. All right. Another key point, here, shooting regression angle, 37 or 32.7% 3-point shooting team on the season is Campbell. 245th nationally, okay? They're 226th in turnovers per possession. Again, these last two games in the tournament, this looks like a completely new team, but it's not, okay? We saw this matchup between these two teams earlier this year. Monmouth won that game 88-73. They were able to do exactly kind of what we've been talking about. They were able to exploit Campbell's defensive gaps pretty easily. So I don't know. I mean, it's a spot here where, as a dog better, I love a good underdog. I love a good 9 seed. But when you combine, 3 games, 3 days, the fatigue that comes with that, and you mix that with the defensive discipline of their opponent, I think that this Campbell team is riding a high that, won't necessarily be there today. I think that it's going to get exposed. They're riding on fumes right now. I don't think it'll last in this game. I expect Campbell to come out hot early. They've played with a ton of confidence, so don't expect, as long as they don't take a 20-point lead early in this matchup, I think that we've got a great chance of covering the number here. But once this game gets settled in, I think we get the final 8 to 10 minutes on the second half. That's where the fresher legs, I think, are going to take over here. So give me Monmouth -1.5. It's playable to 2.5, maybe even 3.5. I wouldn't go any higher than that, but I'm locking in the number at 1.5 right now on DK. Monmouth -1.5. I think the Hawks grind this one out late, punch their ticket to the conference final, and possibly a ticket to the dance on the line. All right. I'll be back here tomorrow with more plus money plays from around the sports world. One unit in play, one play, Monmouth -1.5 against Campbell in the CAA tournament semifinals. As always, my name is Q from Black Sheep Betting, and I hope each and every one of you, each and every one of you